Today, n8n released a new feature called data tables, and as you can see here, it is currently still in beta. However, this is going to eliminate the need for you to interact with either Google Sheets, Airtable, and NocoDB. You may be able to just create all of your workflows within n8n and have a lot more data management, data creation, data execution. It might just get a lot easier because you no longer have to go outside of the n8n environment. What I have here is a workflow that will generate leads from the Google Maps API. I'm going to go ahead and convert these Google Sheets nodes to use the data tables instead. First and foremost, let's get the new data table node that is here inside of n8n. Let's start from up here where we are going to get the zip codes. In order for me to do that, I think we need to first have some zip codes available. So if I go here into my settings, so I can open up the original document, right, go to this Arizona zip code. So we will go ahead and grab a few of these rows. I'm going to copy that. Then we're going to go back out into this project, go to the data tables. I have a data table already created called data-leads, and we will add a column here. Column name is zip, and we will make that a string, so some sort of text. I guess we could use it as a number as well. Status and subcat, so we need status, we need subcat, and as of right now, I don't know if I can import data into this. No, it does not look like I can import data. But you can see here, this has a default created at and updated at. That's something you actually do want. And we have some sort of an ID for the record itself. These are 3 default columns that come with the data table. Very standard database features. Let's go ahead and add a row. Okay, so we have a row that's been added, and again, I don't know if I can actually paste this. Okay, that's not going to work. So I need to get just one record. Punch that in there. You can see it did allow me to just copy and paste that in there. Grab four items. So if I add 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, so now we have 5 records, right? Now copy and paste. Nope, that is not going to work. Okay, and here I think we can click on this and it will sort based on the column. So we have our zip code. Let's do a little bit more data preparation. And we've got categories, Google Maps categories. So I need another data table, right? So here we're going to create another. Now I have a second data table. Let's keep all our names in lowercase. That's standard practice for databases. No spaces in between names. Use either a dash or a score for your naming. And subcategory. Okay, we'll keep them all strings as now. Status, category, subcategory. Great. What I could do is do a little quick workflow for data migration. I'm going to do a manual trigger. Yep. Then I'm going to do a Google Sheets. Yep. Get rows in a sheet. I want to get rows in a sheet. And the document I want is Google Maps Scraper. Yes, that one. And the sheet I want is the Google Maps categories. Then what we want to do is, because I don't want to manually copy, insert row. All right. So which data table do we want to insert to? We just created the Google Maps categories, right? Map each column manually, or will it do it automatically? Let's see. Okay. Optimize bulk. What is this? Whether to improve bulk insert per provider, not returning inserted data. All right. So what we're doing here is, because I do have some data in this sheet, and as you can see, it's quite a number of rows. It's 119 or 118 rows. I don't want to manually copy that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab that sheet from my file and all the rows, yeah, and then insert that into my new data table. Okay, so we have a blank database or a data table in this n8n terminology that I want to bring in this data from my Google Sheets, which is for the Google Maps lead generator workflow. Quick, simple example. So what I want to do is grab the data and insert them into my new data table, which is mapped exactly with the same column names from the original data source. I'm just going to go ahead and execute this, and let's see what happens. It's going to go grab all the rows. We have 118 items. That's correct. And then now we have a incorrect row number. Let's map it manually. Status is this field. Row number we can ignore. That was a problem. We had an extra piece of data that n8n did not know what to do with when I set it to automatic. That's okay. So we'll go to category and then we'll go to subcategory. Great. So now I want to rerun this. And because I've now mapped it manually, this should work. Bam, you see? No problem. So here is a difference going from Google Sheets to the data table is that the unique identifier from Google Sheets is a row number. But in the n8n tables, we now have a unique identifier called ID. So I needed to allow n8n to ignore that information from the Google Sheets data, so no problem mapping it manually. That ran successfully. We have a successful execution visually there, as well as in the executions section or tab inside of this workflow. Perfect. Now let's go check our data. We had 118 items, and so now if I refresh this, we should have 118 rows of data that map exactly to perfect. That's what we wanted. All right, so that was a very easy way to import the data from my original data source. No biggie there. I think what I want to do is do the same thing with my zip codes here. We set that up already, right, in the other data table here in the data leads. I should actually rename this to zip codes. Zips. AZ, because this is all Arizona. Okay, so I have zip status subcategory, zip status subcategory. I'm going to delete these records so that when I pull them in automatically, I can map it without any duplication. So I'm going to save this workflow, and then I'm going to change the sheet from Google Sheets. So we're going to change it to the AZ zips. And then here, I'm going to change it to my AZ zips data table. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to execute this node so that I can get the source information. And by doing that, we have 1,800 records. That's a lot of Arizona zip codes. So here again, we can see that this is the schema coming in from Google Sheets. We're going to ignore the row number because that's the unique identifier from Google Sheets. We're going to take and map zip to zip, status to status, and subcat to subcat. Perfect. Now, if I execute this, we should have the 1,800 records now popping up in this Arizona zip codes data table. So let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. So we have 37 pages of zip codes. Very simple, guys. This is really, really easy. I'm excited for this new feature because this also means you actually don't need to be using NocoDB anymore in certain cases, right? Like for our ecosystem, for example, we do have 12 different tables and there's a lot of fields here and things like that. So I think it's possible, but this is the first time I'm actually trying the data tables. So let's see how it goes. This is a nice little utility workflow that I can probably use for a lot of different data migrations that I will be doing in the future, as I can see. So let's go back to Google Maps lead generator 2. I did have this function to get the zip codes, right? Now we want the zips. You can set filters, it looks like, and other conditions. Yeah, so this is a nice little tool if you need to filter things. I want to return all. Okay, I don't want any limits. So if I do this, well, I should get the 1,800 records. Yep, 1,800 records. So Now what I can do is I can disconnect this and boom, delete this, replace it with that. And if I do that, let's just see what happens. So I don't need this GS URL anymore. I'm going to delete this so that anything that is using a Google Sheets, it's just going to ignore. All right, so let's see. I might not need this entire settings node at all, but let's just save this. And then because I've disconnected it here, I just want to test that it's going to pull in the zips and work the same way it had done work to be prior. So we do have 1800 records coming in, and this little set node is setting the zip to the proper information. Perfect. Instead of going through the entire thing, this was a quick, simple example for you to see, one, what are data tables inside of n8n now, okay? This is a fantastic feature that they've just released today. You need to be on version 1.113 to be able to access this. So if I confirm this for you guys, I'm here on the n8n cloud version. So go to the admin panel, and I can see that here I am on 1.113. And if you aren't on 1.113, you hit the manage button here and go to the latest beta version in this little pull down menu, and make sure you save it. Then it'll update your cloud version from there. Awesome. Go try this out. It's a great replacement. No more extra credential setting for, smaller data files that you might be using within Google Sheets. I think, again, there's that nice little optimization feature that we saw. All right, so if I go back here into this data table example, you saw that when I'm inserting data, there's this little optimized bulk, and apparently you can optimize this performance by 5x, which is fantastic, because prior to this data tables feature, guys, bulk data was one of the memory hogs, if you will, for n8n, and it looks like they are trying to solve that problem, which is really good that they can solve this problem, because now it means that you can have a lot bigger projects with a lot more data straight inside of your n8n instance. Fantastic work. I'm excited for this feature. Go and start to update some of your workflows to use the new native data tables. All right, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel so that you can keep getting content related to n8n workflows, other automations, AI-related content that I'll be posting here on my channel and my other social media channels as well. Take care.